Let me tell you something that might change the way you completely think about wealth. Rich people aren't different from you and me. Steve Jobs isn't more disciplined. Elon Musk isn't smarter. Jeff Bezos doesn't have 100 more hours a week than you and I do. And yes, some people have advantages. That's true. I'm not going to pretend that they're not. But here's what most people don't see. The people who learn to build wealth, they have 4 things that they're doing with money differently to most people. And if you can learn them, you can start to change your financial future for the best. So in this video, I'm going to show you the rich framework. 4 things wealthy people do differently with money, and that you can start doing today. And by the end of this video, I want you to stop looking at wealthy people and thinking, they're so different from me. I want you to start asking a much more powerful question. What are they doing that I can learn to start doing? So let's jump in. Okay, let's first look at a house, right? Let's first look at a house of a poor person. This is my house here. Got windows on my house. Right? This is my house. And this is a poor person's house. They have an income window, which is this window here, and it usually comes in the form of a job. And their primary purpose of earning money from their job is to go straight to their outgo window in the form of bills. And they think that the primary purpose of money is to pay bills right here. So this is the income window in the form of a job. This is the outgo window, and that's usually in the form of bills. So that's a poor person's thinking. Okay. Now, a middle class house again, same 4 windows, the income window, the liability window, the outgo window, and the assets window. So this is the middle class. Running out of room here. So they're very similar. In the form of a JOB, they have income going in. Now their primary purpose of money, they believe, is to pay for things that they can't afford. So it goes into the liability window, and it also goes into the outgo window in the form of bills. Right? This liability window here is things like holidays they can't afford, cars they can't afford, clothes, buy now, pay later. All those things are liabilities. So that's where their money goes. So that's the middle class framework thinking. They think that that's what the primary purpose of money is to pay for things they can't afford. Okay, now the rich house. This is where things get different. So we've got the income window, the assets window, the liabilities window, and the outgo window. So they start all the same. They have a JOB usually. Comes into the income window. Then, before they put money to the outgo window here, before they put it to the liabilities window, they take some of this money here and they put it into the assets window. And nothing happens at first. Then they put some more money into the assets window and still nothing happens. Some goes here, some goes here. Eventually, this asset window starts putting money back in to the income window. Does that make sense? And then this asset window becomes so big, it starts paying for the liabilities window and it starts paying for the bills window. So they no longer lead a JOB, right? They've got an asset in this window that pays for their bills and it pays for their liabilities. Does that make sense? So that's the primary difference. So their focus is on this asset window. Their focus is growing this asset window so big that it can pay for everything else. Okay, so I'm glad we started there. So let's have a look at the rich framework. The rich, number one, or are rich people oh, see money as a tool. The first thing wealthy people do differently is they see money differently. Most people see money as something to spend. You get paid, you pay your bills. Like a poor person, they think their primary purpose of money is to pay bills. You get paid, you think it's to buy things that you can't afford, upgrade your lifestyle, get a bigger house, a bigger car, clothes, just to impress people that you don't know. And if there's anything left over, maybe they'll save some. But wealthy people look at it completely different. They see it as a tool to create options, a tool to buy assets, to solve problems, to create freedom, and to create more money. And this is the distinct difference. Because if you see money as primary as something to consume, then every increase of your income becomes an increase in your lifestyle. You get a $10,000 raise and you get a better car, you get a better house, you go to better restaurants to eat, you get nicer clothes, you get nicer holidays, you get more subscriptions. And suddenly that $10,000 is gone just as quickly as it came. You made more money, but you didn't become wealthier. If you give two people $10,000, but one person sees that as an opportunity to buy more stuff, and the other sees it as the opportunity to invest in an asset, the people just have received the exact same amount, but one, they made completely different financial decisions. And 5 years later, it'll be a life changer. Okay, so the R is rich people see money as a tool. Sorry about my bad writing. I, rich people intentionally use money to build more money. All right? Once you start seeing money as a tool, you decide what you're going to do with that tool. And wealthy people tend to intentionally think about this. They don't just ask, how much money do I make? They ask, what is my money doing? That's a massive difference, because you can make a lot of money and still have very little wealth. You can earn $200,000 a year and spend $250,000 a year. Yeah? Your lifestyle might look impressive, you might be able to show off, but what does your bank balance tell you? Because wealth starts in the gap between what comes in and what goes out. That gap, what comes in and what goes out. If you earn $5,000 and you spend $5,000, there's no surplus. But if you earn $5,000 and then you spend $4,500, there's $500 surplus. And that $500 is where your future wealth can start to begin. You can save it, you can invest it, you can pay off bad debt, you can put it towards an asset, you can invest in yourself, in skills, you can build a business, you can give. There's a whole bunch of things you can do. The point is that you have choice. And that's why I don't want you to be obsessed in looking rich. I want you to become wealthy, truly wealthy. Looking rich is consumption, but building wealth is ownership. You're telling your money, you're not just here to make my life look better today, but you're here to help my life look better tomorrow. And that brings us to number 3. Rich people they create assets. I like this. Instead of of collecting income. Rich people create assets instead of collecting income. This is where I think a lot of people completely misunderstand wealth. They focus on income. How much can I make? What's my salary? How much do I earn per week? And income matters. Income's important. I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't, but income is not the same as wealth. Wealth is what you receive. Sorry, income is what you receive, and wealth is what you keep and you own. And one of the biggest shifts you can make financially is moving from simply collecting income to creating assets, because an asset can continue to produce value after you've stopped working. So think about a rental property. You purchase it and it can generate income. It has tenants. And when I purchase investment properties, the tenants pay for all the bills. And that means I generated surplus. It doesn't cost me money. So think about this. If I purchased an investment property and it cost me $50 a week, eventually I could only purchase so many, because that $50 would eventually, if I more and more $50 a week, I'd run out of money. But if I had the opposite, where I purchased an investment property and it gave me $50, how many can I purchase? As many as I want. So I make sure when I purchase investment properties, that covers all the bills and it puts money in my pocket. And additionally, there's capital growth. That's a bonus. Think about, I wrote a book, Broken Neck, Unbroken Wealth. It's an asset that income can follow. You can go to the website, brokenneck.unbrokenwealth.com, and purchase my ebook. And income can follow with that. This YouTube channel, income can follow it. It can go out to hundreds, thousands of people, millions of people across the world, and income can follow it. So produce assets, focus on producing assets that can generate income, instead of just focusing on collecting income. Be a creator, not just a consumer. Think about your content, right? How much of it do you just consume every day? How much time do you spend consuming content? 5 minutes, an hour? Look at your screen time. Is it 3 hours on TikTok? Well, how much time do you actually focus on creating content, creating value for others in the marketplace? Just a thought. Okay, and H, rich people handle money out of room by taking action. Not waiting for it to feel ready. This might be the most important part of the entire video, because you can understand everything I've said so far, and you can consume so much content. Get ready. You can budget, you can save, you think you should save, you should budget, you think you should invest, you think you're ready to start paying off debt. But until you actually start taking action, it doesn't matter. You've got to take action. You've got to do something. You've got to start the momentum. And a lot of people are waiting for the perfect financial moment. When I earn more, I'll start saving. When I get out of debt, I'll start saving. When the shares go up, when the interest rates go down, whatever the case may be, when the kids get older, when they leave home, start today. It's never going to be a perfect time to start. Start doing something. Momentum is habits. Build habits today that can outlast. Even if you're saving $5, it's better than saving nothing. Start today. The problem isn't that you don't know what to do. The problem is you keep waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is today. When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the next best time? Today. Start today. You don't become financially confident and then start managing your money. You start managing your money and your confidence grows. You don't wait until you're wealthy to learn how wealthy people handle money. You start practicing those behaviors now, and this is when you can start growing it. Stop asking yourself, what's the perfect thing I can do? What's the next thing I can do? Maybe that's opening a bank account and actually looking at where your money went this month. Maybe it's setting up an automatic transfer on payday. Maybe it's canceling 3 subscriptions. Maybe it's making an extra payment on your debt. Maybe it's opening an investment account. Whatever it is, start today. Maybe it's simply saving $1,000 for an emergency fund. Because small actions repeated over time create habits. Financial habits, healthy habits, relationship habits, it doesn't matter. Small repeated actions. So the real difference. So let's bring this framework together. Rich people see money as a tool, not a trophy. Rich people intentionally use money to build more money. Rich people create assets instead of just collecting income. And rich people handle money by taking action and not waiting to feel ready. So today, think about this. Where do you want your financial life to look like in the future? Where do you want it to be? What do you want it to look like? Start today. Don't wait for the perfect timing, because it's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something going on. The kids have this program that I've got a new work opportunity. I've got to travel. I've got this whatever. Start today. When your income increases, don't upgrade your lifestyle. Wait. Don't buy the new car. Don't buy the new clothes. Don't buy the new lifestyle. Wait. Build wealth. Make that surplus bigger and invest it. Invest it in yourself. And I want to say something here that's particularly important. I'm not just going to sit here and tell you that the circumstance doesn't matter. They do. People start in different places. Some people grow up with money, some don't. Some have incredible opportunities, others have enormous obstacles. Some people have health problems, and some people have relationship problems, and some people go through things that nobody else knows about. So I'm not saying everyone has the same opportunity, they don't. But there's a difference between saying my circumstances are difficult and saying my circumstances mean I can never change. There's only 2 factors in life. There are contributing factors and determining factors. Contributing factors are everything that happens to us. I guarantee you, life has happened to you. It's happened to me. Hard things. I wouldn't want what you've had, and you probably don't want what I've had. Right? I broke my neck, I'm in a wheelchair. Cool. Contributing factor. But determining factor is, what am I going to do with the cards that I'm dealt? The hard things that I'm dealt. We've all dealt hard things. But what are you going to do with your hard things? Are they going to be an excuse? Are they going to hold you down? They're going to pull you back? Or they're going to be a platform for you to launch forward and help others? So thanks so much for watching, and I hope this rich framework can set you up for a financial future that's beyond your wildest dreams. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.